What is up, everybody? How's it going? As you can tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about the newest DC Universe animated original movie in their new collected universe continuity people have dubbed the Tomorrowverse. It's the same universe that started with Superman Man of Tomorrow. It's the replacement for the DC AMU, which ended with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and that newest installment that we're talking about is Legion of Superheroes. So, what did I think of this movie? If this movie had come out little ways down the road still in terms of this new continuity, this new movie universe, I would like it a lot more. However, it seems like the team behind this animated movie universe, it seems like at first they had this plan in place to kind of build a movie universe, like, piece by piece from the ground up. And then within the last year, it seems like they just kind of said, fuck it. Fuck it, let's just tell whatever random stories that we want to tell. And I say that because the previous movie in this universe, in this continuity prior to Legion of Superheroes, was Green Lantern Beware My Power. And one of the things that that film and this film have in common are we're bypassing a lot of shit in this continuity. I'll give you an example. So let's see here. Batman The Long Halloween. That film, both parts of it, came out in 2021. So prior to that movie, we had Superman Man of Tomorrow, which established Superman's new origin story for this continuity. And then we had Justice Society World War II, which kind of established our Barry Allen Flash, and it also established the multiverse, which I thought was good. And at the end of that film, Barry Allen Flash meets Superman for the first time, and he mentions to him like maybe we should put together a team or something like that. Then we had Batman: The Long Halloween, which introduces us to our new continuity version of Batman, voice acted by Jensen Ackles, who I think does a pretty good job as Batman voice acting for Batman. And at the end of that two-part film, because it was a two-parter, uh, it's Halloween. The doorbell to Wayne Manor rings, and at the door, looking to talk to Bruce Wayne, are Barry Allen Flash and Green Arrow, who we have just never seen before. He's just now there. And so we left off with at that point with like, okay, they're going to build up to the Justice League. And I was kind of curious as to like, okay, it seems like this is in this continuity. It's not going to be so much that some kind of like crazy event happens that forces the team together. It's more like they're just going to get the team together on their own. And it's implied that that's what happened, but we never see it. Like we got to Green Lantern Beware My Power, and the Justice League was just already a thing. They had the Watchtower in space. There was already a previous Green Lantern that was a member of it, which is Hal Jordan. And then we get into this film, and not only is the Justice League formed, but it's like they've been working together and known each other for a while, and we're already on Supergirl has made her way to Earth. Zor-El, yeah, Kara Zor-El has already made her way to Earth. She's already met Superman. She's already become Supergirl. It's like the events of what was that other animated movie? Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. It's like the events of that movie already took place, but at the same time, it touches on a lot of the same things. They're just skipping a lot. And I don't know why they've given up on this idea of let's build this movie continuity, this movie universe continuity. Let's build it up piece by piece from the ground up. They seem to have just given up on that and they're like, let's just tell whatever fucking DC story we want to tell. I My only hypothesis is, as we heard in James Gunn's announcement for his, future of the DCU that he's going to be creating, he mentioned that it's not going to be limited to live action. They're also going to be doing animation, and they're going to make sure that animation connects with the live action. And I think we only, as you know, the fans, the audience, we only just recently got that announcement, but I have a feeling that the different divisions and departments over at DC, whether it's their animation department division, their comics, their live action, whatever, I have a feeling they've known about this for a while. I have a feeling they saw this coming. And since James Gunn's collected DC Universe franchise is now going to also involve animation, animated movies and shows, I feel like the people behind this stuff are just kind of like, well, there's no sense in us creating another, you know, really well thought out, built up continuity. If James Gunn's going to do it and his is going to include animation, then we might as well just tell whatever fucking stories we want to tell. So that's kind of where I see that going. The only thing that sucks about that is we're still in the dark on James Gunn's DCU. We don't know how that's going to turn out. We don't even have an inkling of an idea of how that's going to turn out. We kind of had an idea of where this was going. We watched Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Justice Society, World War II, Batman: The Long Halloween. We kind of had an idea of where this shit was going, and we liked it. So, you know, it's like now we're gonna ditch this thing that had promise and potential for James Gunn's idea, which might work, and I am optimistically hopeful for it. I think it will work out. I don't know. I wish that they had not completely abandoned the idea of building an animated movie universe continuity from the ground up, step by step. But they have. They've completely abandoned the fuck out of that shit. And they're just telling whatever stories they want to tell. And in this film, they decided we want to tell a story about Supergirl traveling to the future and meeting the Legion of Superheroes of the 31st century for the first time and getting into some shenanigans with them. And it's not bad because, and the reason it's not bad, and this is by no means a criticism, the reason it's not bad is because they played it safe and they took inspiration from successful things that had come beforehand. They took a lot of inspiration from the DC animated universe, the Bruce Timm Paul Dini stuff, and they also took a lot of inspiration from previous instances of Supergirl in animated DC movies. Like I mentioned, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse, and Superman Unbound, I think it's called. Both of those films show Kara, you know, she's on Earth, but she's new to Earth. She's not like Clark. She didn't grow up here from infancy. She's already like a 17-year-old. She's a teenager already, a young adult, and she's trying to adjust and living in this foreign planet where she's dangerous. You know, she likes the idea of being a superhero helping people out. She kind of wants to go into the family business like Clark, but she has yet to really understand the same way Clark does that like she has to pull her punches. She has to watch how she uses her power. She can't just go in guns hot and beat the enemy down because she will cause a lot of collateral damage. There's scenes in this movie where Batman talks to Clark about that, where like she's dangerous and she doesn't seem to care about the collateral damage she does and blah blah blah. And even she talks like she has problems. She's like, I don't fit in, blah blah blah. So Clark's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna I'm gonna take you to the 31st century and leave you with the Legion of Superheroes of the 31st century. One, I don't see how that fixes her problem. Like, you know, is there something about the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century that will fit her better? I mean, in this universe, in this continuity, they show that like the Legion of Superheroes is not just a team of superheroes, it's like an academy, it's like a school, and you have to graduate from the academy and the school to get put on the team. So maybe he thought of it as like it'll be good training for her. She'll be with other people who are still coming into their own as superheroes and whatnot. But another negative is this also means that you know what else we skipped? You know what else we skipped in this continuity in this movie universe? How the fuck did Clark already know about the Legion of Superheroes? You know, we last left off with him at the end of Superman Man of Tomorrow, and he had just become Superman, and now he knows the Legion, and he's been to the 31st century, and Kara's there. Like, we're skipping a lot of shit. Once it gets into the 31st century, though, and Kara is there with the Legion, there are not a whole lot of references anymore to the rest of the continuity of the film universe back on Earth with Superman and Batman and all of them. It mostly sticks with Kara in the 31st century with the Legion. And once that starts to happen, you're kind of like, okay, you forget that this is supposed to be part of this continuity, and it's easier to just look at it as like a Legion of Superheroes film, a standalone Legion of Superheroes film. And it is enjoyable. It's enjoyable in that predictable sense. It's enjoyable in that whole like, you know, you don't know what you're going to get for your birthday, but you gave your parents a list of stuff you wanted, or like you don't know what you're going to get for Christmas, but you wrote Santa a list of stuff that you wanted. You wrote Santa a letter asking for certain things. And so you don't know what's going to be wrapped up under the tree for you in the morning, but you end up opening your presents and it's exactly what you asked for. That's what this movie is. You go into it like, I know what I'm expecting out of this, but I just don't know 100% that I'm going to get what I expect. You pretty much get what you expect. This movie tries to do some twisty stuff, but it's really not that twisty and it's pretty predictable. Um, I don't know if I'll say spoiler alert for this, but it's really not, because this is another thing that they pulled from the DCAU, the Bruce Timm Paul Dini DCAU. Supergirl and Brainiac 5 develop a relationship and become boyfriend and girlfriend. We've seen that before. Mon-El, this character over here in the red suit with the blue cape, they try to pull a little plot twisty twist with him, but we saw somewhat similar stuff in the live action Supergirl show on CW. Like, Mon-El is not who Mon-El appears to be. Yeah, it's a fun movie, but it's predictable, and it pretty much confirms everyone's fear. And the predictable, I want to make sure this is very clear. The predictableness of it is not a bad thing. It's not. What I'm judging this movie most harshly on is how it fits into the greater film universe and film continuity as an installment of that film continuity and film universe. And what this film does is it confirms to all of the audience that, hey, if you were hoping for some like MCU type thing where we build this universe up piece by piece from the beginning, you're wrong. That's not happening. We're just going to tell whatever fucking stories we want to tell. It's going to be more like an anthology series than a piece by piece story. So, yeah. That being said, I am done with this. I am done paying any extra money for this film universe. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. They will get no more of my money because it's not what I want. I want an MCU styled film universe that's built up piece by piece, has an overarching narrative and story. We're building up to a big climax. I want that kind of stuff. I don't want this just anthology shit of like, here's a story about how John Stewart became Green Lantern and Hal Jordan turned evil, and here's a story about Supergirl meeting the Legion of Superheroes, and here's a story about this, and here's a story about that. And it's just an anthology of DC stories. That's not what I want. I want a cohesive narrative given to me in the form of a animated movie universe. And that's not what this is going to give me, so I'm done. I will continue to watch the installments that come out once they get to HBO Max, and I can watch them for free, or I should say I can watch them for no extra money out of my pocket. I pay for HBO Max every month because there's enough stuff on HBO Max to where I feel like it earns my $15 a month. But one, like these films, DC animated films, they used to come out on Amazon Prime to rent. Like when they first were released, you could rent them on Prime. They stopped putting them on there to rent initially. Eventually, they get to the point where you can rent them, but when they are first released, they are not on Amazon to rent, and that's because they're trying to make more money. They're trying to limit it to where, like, hey, if you want to sample this content, you're going to have to pay full price. Well, if you want us to pay full price to sample your content, you're going to need to earn our faith in your content. And you're not doing that. You're not doing that because you're not giving us what we want. We want a cohesive MCU style universe. And you're not doing that. You're just anthology bullshitting stories out of your butthole, and we don't want that. So yeah, I'm done buying these. I'm done paying full price for them. I'll watch them when they pop up on when the time comes and they finally pop up on HBO Max and I can watch them for free. That's how I'll watch them. But yeah, underwhelming in that regard. You know, if I had been looking for just a standalone anthology film about Supergirl joining the Legion of Superheroes, then this would probably be a B plus, B plus to A minus film. But since I am judging this as a piece of a whole, and it is not a very good piece of that whole, it doesn't add to the whole, it detracts from the whole, then I'm giving it like C minus grade. Watch it if you want, but yeah. So that's my take on that. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Did you like this video? If you did, please hit that like button. That really helps out my channel. If you want to help out my channel even further, check out some of my other videos and maybe subscribe. But other than that, I'll talk to y'all later.